Some people think, and their thoughts become tools guiding them through life. But others, their thoughts never guide them. Instead, their minds become prisons, wrapping them in loops they cannot escape. And in that quiet space between thought and action lies the difference that decides everything. And today, this is not just a story about thinking. It is a mirror held up to your own mind, a chance to see whether your thoughts are serving you, guiding you with purpose, shaping you into a deep thinker, or whether they are quietly trapping you, spinning endlessly, keeping you stuck in patterns you cannot escape. By the end of this, you will understand which path your mind is truly taking and how this awareness can quietly, profoundly change the life it allows you to live. A deep thinker moves through life carefully. For him, every thought is intentional, every decision considered, every reflection structured. They examine situations to understand them, to learn, or to plan their next step. Overthinkers, in contrast, circle endlessly. Their thoughts replay moments that cannot be changed, conversations that have ended, and futures that may never exist. Their mind does not guide them, it consumes them. The difference is subtle, almost invisible. It is not the amount of thinking that separates them, but the purpose behind it. When a deep thinker encounters a problem, their mind organizes itself naturally. Facts are separated from emotions, options are weighed, outcomes are anticipated, and then a path forward emerges, clear, deliberate, actionable. Once clarity is reached, the mind rests and shifts to the next challenge. Energy is conserved, efficiency is preserved. But on the other hand, overthinkers do not operate this way. Their thoughts circle endlessly around the same points. Decisions already made are questioned. Conversations long past are relived. Imagined scenarios that may never occur dominate their attention. Instead of producing solutions, their minds produce tension. Instead of clarity, there is confusion. Neurologically, this distinction is profound. Deep thinking engages the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for planning, strategy, and decision-making. It allows thought to flow with purpose. It allows the mind to reach conclusions, release them, and rest. Overthinking, by contrast, activates the default mode network, the system that runs internal storytelling, memory recall, and future simulations. When overactive, it keeps the mind in constant rumination. Hypothetical threats are treated as real. The body reacts as though danger is present, releasing stress hormones, tightening muscles, and draining energy, even when no threat exists. This is why overthinkers often feel exhausted, both mentally and physically, even when no external work has been done. This is why they lie awake at night, their minds spinning without resolution. And this is why intelligence alone is not enough to create calm or clarity. A deep thinker uses the mind as a tool. An overthinker allows the mind to become a cage. The difference extends to how mistakes are processed. Deep thinkers reflect on errors to learn, asking, what can I do differently next time? What does this teach me about my approach? Overthinkers replay the mistake endlessly. They magnify failure, question self-worth, and punish themselves with hypotheticals. Reflection becomes rumination, and rumination becomes a trap. Energy is spent, but insight is not gained. Mistakes for a deep thinker are stepping stones. For an overthinker, they are chains. And this distinction echoes into every aspect of life, professional, personal, and emotional. Overthinking rarely emerges suddenly in adulthood. It often originates in early life, shaped by unpredictable or inconsistent environments. A child growing up in such conditions develops hypervigilance. They learn to monitor every tone, gesture, and unspoken signal to anticipate danger or disapproval. These survival instincts are adaptive in childhood, but can persist as chronic overthinking in adulthood. Deep thinkers, however, cultivate reflection differently. Their thinking is guided by curiosity and problem-solving. It is a conscious choice, not a defensive mechanism. And here lies another subtle truth. Purposeful reflection is a skill, learned and honed. Rumination is a habit, reinforced by fear and unresolved tension. Even in human connection, the distinction is clear. Deep thinkers consider perspectives carefully, respond intentionally, and communicate deliberately. Their words are measured, precise, meaningful. Overthinkers, however, replay interactions repeatedly in their minds. They anticipate criticism, rejection, and disapproval where none exists. They hesitate, withdraw, or overcompensate. Their efforts to control uncertainty often create the very tension they fear. Deep thinking preserves connection. Overthinking undermines it. And this dynamic, though subtle, shapes the quality of every relationship they have. Consider how decisions are made. A deep thinker gathers information, weighs it, and acts decisively. They accept the inherent uncertainty of life, yet move forward anyway. Their decisions are clear, intentional, and productive. An overthinker gathers the same information, but becomes trapped in a loop. Every choice is weighed against countless hypothetical outcomes. Procrastination and mental paralysis follow. Opportunities are missed. Confidence erodes. The difference is not intelligence, it is the structure of thought and the intent behind it. Self-awareness is what differentiates productive reflection from destructive rumination. Deep thinkers recognize when reflection is useful and when it is time to act. They pause, evaluate, and release. Overthinkers struggle to set this boundary. They ask, "Am I thinking too much? Should I act?" and rarely reach a conclusion that frees them. Boundaries between reflection and rumination are invisible, yet they determine whether the mind serves life or consumes it. In the professional realm, these patterns become tangible. Deep thinkers approach tasks strategically. They evaluate data, consider feedback, and act with precision. Decisions are made efficiently, progress is tangible, and confidence is reinforced. Overthinkers overanalyze, delay decisions, and worry excessively. Deadlines feel threatening. Small uncertainties feel catastrophic. Even competence cannot counter the paralysis caused by the mind's overactivity. Productivity is not determined by effort alone. It is determined by the clarity and structure of thought. Deep thinking and overthinking are not determined by intelligence or emotional sensitivity alone. They are determined by structure, purpose, and intention. A deep thinker uses thought as a bridge to understanding. An overthinker uses thought as a barrier to peace. The distinction is subtle, it is quiet, it is almost invisible, yet it shapes the quality of life itself. Ask yourself, are your thoughts creating clarity, insight, and action, or are they looping endlessly, fueling doubt, fatigue, and fear? The answer is not judgment, it is awareness. Because the mind, when used intentionally, becomes the greatest ally you will ever have. And when misused, it becomes the quietest, most persistent prison. So if you have ever felt your mind move too fast or too slowly or in circles others cannot follow, if you have ever felt exhausted by your own thoughts, yet craving understanding, remember this: you are not broken, you are not weak, you are learning the rhythm of your own mind. Thoughts are not enemies, they are instruments, and whether they serve you or control you depends entirely on the intention you bring to them. Walk gently into your thoughts, observe, reflect, and act. And know that clarity is not a destination. It is the careful movement of the mind, guided with purpose, tempered by stillness, and carried through life with quiet intention.